Assalamualaikum warahmatullah wabarakatuh.
My brothers and sisters.
Today we are going to look at some amazing stories from the Quran. The Quran is not just about stories of prophets and messengers. It's also full of stories that happen with ordinary people like you and me. People who are facing problems. People who are trying to find solutions. People who are trying to do good in their lives. People who made mistakes. People who came back from their mistakes and became successful. So I hope that these stories will give you some answers, will give you some guidance, will bring you closer to Allah subhanahu. The first one is mentioned in Surat Al-Imran, verse 334. It says, "O humanity, indeed we created you from a male and a female and made you into peoples and tribes, so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." So what's the lesson here? When it comes to our faith, brothers and sisters, all of us are equal. There is no superiority for anyone based on color, race, or social status. We are all equal. And if you want to be superior, then be righteous. That is the only thing that would give you superiority. Other than that, we are all equal. If you are white, black, tall, short, rich, poor, whatever you are, it does not matter. What matters is that you are righteous. You are a good human being. Next one, Surat An-Nisa verse 3. It says, "If you fear that you will not deal justly between your children, then marry one wife. Thus your offspring will not be unjust." Now, what is the point of this ayah? It actually talks about two things. Firstly, it talks about being fair and just to your children. So, if you have a wife and you think that you cannot be fair between the children, because sometimes, when you have multiple wives, there might be some favoritism or some jealousy or something like that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, look, if you cannot be fair, don't have more than one wife. Secondly, it also talks about the rights of the children. A child has the right to know who his father is, to live with his father, to be brought up by his father, and also to receive an inheritance from his father. So Allah is telling us that if you can't be fair between the children, marry one wife so that your offspring will not be unjust. Next, Surah An-Nisa, verse 25. It says, "And those who do not know how to do good only to their own wives, they have committed a great sin." In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that it is our duty to be good not only to our parents, not only to our children, not only to our wives, but even to ourselves. So how many times have we hurt ourselves? How many times have we said bad words to ourselves? How many times have we thought badly of ourselves? How many times have we done bad things to ourselves? Repulsively. So Allah wants us to be good, not only to others, but also to ourselves. So next time you see yourself doing bad things to yourself, stop and think, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to be good not only to others, but also to myself. Next story is from Surat Al-Imran, verse 146. It says, "And hold firmly to that which has been sent down to you, O Muhammad, for it is a light for you, and a guidance and a mercy for the believers." This ayah tells us that the Quran is not just a book of rules and regulations. The Quran is also a source of light. So whenever you feel lost, whenever you face difficulties, whenever you don't know what to do in your life, open the Quran, read it, ponder over it, reflect over it, because the Quran is the source of light. It can guide you through the darkness. Inshallah. Next story is from Surat Al-Baqarah, verse 28. It says, "And we certainly created you in pairs, male and female, and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." In this ayat, Allah tells us that we are created in pairs, males and females. But many times we forget this, and we see a lot of problems, a lot of issues, especially related to men and women. So remember, brothers and sisters, we are created as males and females, and each person has his or her role to play. So never ever think that men and women are the same. Men and women are different. You have different roles. Play your roles correctly, and that will help you live together in peace. Next, Surat An-Nisa, verse 36. It says, "And we have certainly created you from a male and a female, and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that we are created from a male and a female, and it is so that we can come together, that we can understand one another. So, sometimes when you have, boys playing around, they don't know how to control themselves. They do crazy things. Sometimes, girls do the same. Why? Because they don't understand the opposite gender. So learn about the opposite gender. Understand their feelings, understand their emotions, and you will be able to control your lower self, inshallah. Next, Surat An-Nisa, verse 13. It says, "O humanity, indeed we created you from a male and a female, and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." Another amazing AIA that tells us that we are created from a male and a female. And we are made into different peoples and tribes so that we can understand one another. And the most important thing is to remember that Allah doesn't care about our color, our race, our background, nothing. What Allah cares about is our iman, our faith, our deeds, our good actions. So always remember, brothers and sisters, that Islam teaches us to be very fair, not just to men, not just to women, but to all human beings, regardless of their background, regardless of their color, race, or anything else. Next, Surat Al-Imran, verse 154. It says, "And those who are obedient to Allah and His Messenger, and those who touch not their oaths, those are the only ones who will have attained the highest rank, the closest to Allah, and it is they who are the successful." This ayah talks about a person who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also obedient to the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and a person who fulfills his promises. So many times we make promises. We promise Allah, we promise our parents, our friends, our colleagues, and many times we break our promises. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, if you want to be successful, be a person who fulfills his promises. Next, Surah Al-Imran, verse 134. It says, "And those who do not fear Allah and His Messenger and do not obey Him will certainly be made to taste the humiliating punishment." So this ayat tells us that if we don't fear Allah, if we don't follow the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we will be humiliated. We will be disgraced. So always remember, brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to succeed. Follow His path. Follow the path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't go astray. Otherwise, you will be humiliated. You will be disgraced. Next, Surat An-Nisa, verse 135. It says, "And those who fear Allah, there is goodness for them in their striving, and Allah will have forgiveness and reward for them. And Allah is forgiving, most merciful." In this ayah, Allah tells us that if you fear Allah, everything you do, everything you say, everything you think will be good. Allah will forgive you. Why? Because Allah is forgiving, most merciful. Brothers and sisters, these are just 10 verses, just 10 stories from the Quran. I've taken just one word from each of these verses, and that word is Muslim. And I've written it in Arabic. So, try to reflect on these words, try to reflect on these stories, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a means for us to earn His pleasure. Ameen.